Alright guys, welcome to the first video covering BVR and WVR tactics specific to the Mirage. Some of these tactics are going to apply to other planes as well because they're rather general, but I did want to make you guys a few videos explaining some Mirage 2000 specific things to keep in mind. So we have TAC View up here, and we're actually going to watch a track, and I'm going to comment on it. One I just made a few minutes ago. This is demonstrating your general approach to BVR in the Mirage. Now you should remember that the Mirage 2000, of all the Gen 4 fighters in the sim, it's probably one of the poorest BVR performers. So in this case, I'm taking on a Su-27 flanker one-on-one. He has a full complement of R-27 ERs and R-73 IR missiles, so he has both semi-active radar homing and infrared missiles. We started out at about 30 miles, which is right in the sweet spot for BVR shots for the 27. So we'll go ahead and play the track, and I'll begin commenting. So you can see off the start here as we're closing, I'm looking for the target. However, my radar, due to beta limitations, isn't quite as good as the 27s in its look down, shoot down capability. That currently the antenna doesn't slew down. I'm not sure if the RDI radar is better than the 27, you know, pound for pound. But in this case, we're going to see what happens. So I climbed to get some altitude because remember, guys, you know, altitude and speed are your lifelines in BVR combat. The problem with altitude is it's a two-edged sword. The higher you go, the more likely you are to be seen, but you're going to need that energy to protect yourself if you start taking BVR shots. So at this point, I'm looking for the 27. I'm getting warnings on my RWR letting me know that I'm locked up, and in just a moment I'm going to realize that I really cannot see him and he can see me. So let's pause for a second. So in a situation where I can't see him and he can see me, I have only one choice. That is to go totally defensive. There is absolutely no point for me to continue trying to find that contact when I know he's locked me up. It's really just, it's going to get me killed. It's suicidal. My only option here is to go defensive, try to fight my way to the merge, you know, or stay alive until the merge, and hopefully my wingmans can help me out here by prosecuting that target. So I've started my defensive 3-9 maneuver. Now what you're going to see is I'm going to do high speed, hard angle, left to right sweeps here in a kind of a wide S pattern, and I call this maneuver the 3-9. I think it's referred to as such in ACM terminology. And what you're going to see this maneuver do is he's already fired an R-27 ER. You can see his semi-active missile incoming. But as you can see, as I do these maneuvers, popping flares in the turns, countermeasures, I'm sorry, chaff, I'm forcing that missile, which you'll see quite clearly, to waste its energy by making these turns to try to maintain an intercept course on that radar plot. So every time I make one of these sweeping high-speed reverses, that missile has to again try to turn, you know, to maintain an intercept, and also it faces the problem of me notching its radar, reducing my RCS, my radar crotch section, and making it more difficult for the missile to track. And it was totally effective on that R-27. It totally lost track, and I still have plenty of countermeasures. You can see we're getting closer here. He now fires another ER at me. I brake hard because I saw that one and it misses me. That was just through evasive tactics. Still keeping a 3-9 kind of pattern going here, getting closer to the merge. Here comes a heater. I use terrain to defeat that heater. I get on the deck. We're now in the merge. So now we're on a fighting terms. Now keep in mind, guys, the flanker, it still enjoys a pretty big advantage in the merge. It handles extremely well at low speed. It has some excellent maneuvering characteristics. If the pilot knows what he's doing, he can definitely take that flight control limiter off and pull some crazy maneuvers. But at this point I do have an advantage, or not an advantage, but at least an opportunity to be in a turn fight with him and prevail. So you can see I line him up. Looks like I get a radar lock and I fire off a magic and I splash that flanker. So pretty cool little video demonstrating surviving to the merge. Remember in the M-2000, you're not really going to usually find yourself in an advantage in a BVR situation. If he's found you and you haven't found him, you need to stay totally defensive, keep yourself alive, fight to that merge. We'll talk about, in the next video, we'll talk about aggressive BVR tactics or offensive, how to prosecute a target when you've seen him first or when you have an equal opportunity of engaging him. But this is a very important video because you're going to find yourself in this situation more often than not if you're fighting an Eagle, a Flanker, or a 29, because all three of those fighters are superior BVR fighters to the M2000 in almost every respect.